So there's a few different ways to use this tool, or at least a few different ways that we've thought about. First of all, it can be used as a standalone instrument, which could either be a kind of one-off or repeated, that an interested party, say a project or an investor, uses to work with a Jobtech platform to deploy, and often bringing in an outside organization like 60 Decibels to kind of administer and run the survey. This can be digitally enabled. A survey ultimately is a set of questions. Those set of questions could be the source of inspiration for in-person interactions with workers, whether that's a key informant interview or a focus group discussion. The tool can also be used in a kind of embedded way, embedded into platforms themselves. JobTech Platforms is the owner of the survey, and it will help them not just understand worker feedback on things like job satisfaction, but also outcomes associated with engaging with that platform. And that can be deployed potentially on a kind of more real-time pulse basis and integrated into existing tech platforms and methods of engaging and interacting with workers. Hypothesis that a 30-question survey might be a bit long to deploy on that embedded basis. What does a kind of an even more lean 10-question survey look like? Because anything longer than this potentially might make it difficult for better platforms themselves to administer, for example, in a web survey. Paramount concern always should be and has to be protecting workers. So it's not always, I think, appropriate for platforms to directly ask some of these questions to workers on their platform themselves, and probably not all questions will be suitable to ask. Think about kind of sensitive topics, or especially the case where it's the platform practices themselves that are causing harm, and workers won't be able to respond potentially freely and may even fear retribution for their responses. However it's deployed, encourage users of the tool to follow what's known as the WEST principles, which are really a set of guidelines that were developed collaboratively to maximize the impact of technology-driven efforts to understand and engage workers, primarily in global supply chains,